Alright, so welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to find your pulse. It's going to be located in two different places, your radial and then your carotid artery. So both of these are arteries to check your pulse. As you increase your physical activity levels, your pulse is going to increase, and as you rest, it is going to go down or it's going to decrease. So we're going to do two things. We're going to check our pulse during the resting period. So we're going to check our resting heart rate right now, and then we're going to do a couple of activities to see if your heart rate is going to increase or is going to decrease depending on the activity. So if you're ready, we're going to begin in 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so the purpose of arteries is to deliver blood to your muscles and your organs so then they can perform their functions. And then the responsibility of veins is to return the blood to your heart so then it can continue. Mine up and down. I'm just going to slide my chopsticks up until I touch my jaw, which is where I can't go up anymore. begin the clock in 3, 2, and 1. So you're gonna count how many times that your heart beats. All right, and I counted 63 beats in those 60 seconds. So my beats per minute and my resting heart rate is at 63. So if you don't have like an Apple Watch or an electronic device to check your pulse, that's how you would check your pulse. And what I'm going go ahead and find our personal space. Then we're going to jog in place for a minute. And we're going to begin in 3, 2, and 1. So we're just going to jog in place, keeping these nice and low. You're just going to softly jog in place. So if you're having a race between the tortoise and the hare, right now you would be the tortoise, going slow and steady. Just going to slightly pick up your feet, move in a slow rhythm. And keep going. So my current heart rate is at 113. Got a little bit more time to go. And what's the time? All right, so go ahead and start to find your pulse. I'm going to check right here and begin. I'm going to check for a minute. All right, so my heart rate during that time that I was counting for my pulse was at 82. But as I was jogging in place, my heart rate got up to 113. So you see that as you're exercising, your heart rate is going to read at one point, and then when you first start to count, you'll realize that your pulse was going quickly. And then as time passed by and you were standing still, your heart rate started to go down and it started to slow down. So now, after jogging in place for a minute and then checking our pulse, now we're going to run in place for a minute. So, thumbs up if you think that your heart rate is going to go higher. So my heart rate that I calculated when I was checking my pulse was at 83. So thumbs up if you think that your heart rate is going to go higher than the number that you had, or thumbs down if you think that your heart rate is going to go lower. So we're going to, instead of being the tortoise, now we're going to be the hare. We're going to be the hare for a full minute. So I'm going to get my timer ready, get my personal space. I'm going to begin in 3, 2, and go. So knees up as high as you can. Run in place. So really get your knees up higher. Just moving at a faster pace. Just running in place. And keep going. You need to slow down from time to time. It's cool. Slow down, keep going. Go faster than a jog though. Get ready. Just go faster. You'll notice that your breathing is getting heavy. So that's another sign that your heart is beating faster. Keep going. Keep on getting those knees up. And quickly move your knees. My heart rate. All right, and time. And then go ahead and check for your pulse. My heart rate's at 144 and count. All right, so my heart rate was at 126. And you see that I'm breathing pretty heavily still. So what I like to do, because I already know I'm going to be counting up past the hundreds, I just count by 20s. And every time that I get to a 20, I put up 2 fingers to signify 20. If I get to 40, I'll put up 4 fingers. Then once I get to 60, I'll put up 1. It'll be 5 plus 1. And then it'll be 80, 100, 120. And then I'll count the rest in my head. So that's another little secret that I like to do when I know that my numbers are going to increase by a lot. So I'm still breathing pretty heavily. My heart rate got all the way up to 144 while I was exercising. But you see, while I was checking my pulse, my heart rate did come down slightly. So now, what you're gonna do, so we went from the resting heart rate, jogging, and running in place. Now we're going to see if our heart rate is going to increase or decrease by walking in place. So go ahead and make your prediction. Thumbs up for increase or thumbs down for decrease. And we're going to begin in 3, 2, and 1. So you can just walk in place. You can go side to side. Or you can just tap in front of you. It really doesn't matter. Just want to walk in place. Tap side to side. So you're nice and quiet. And you'll notice that you can talk pretty comfortably. So the less physical activity that you're doing, the more easily that you can talk, and the more that you are exerting yourself, the more physically active that you're being, the more physically active that you're being, the less that you can talk. You have to talk in spurts. So now we're going to go ahead and check our pulse. So go ahead and check for your pulse, either here or here. I'm going to change it to here. Alright, so this time when I checked my pulse was at 81 beats per minute. And when I was checking my watch, I saw that when I was doing the walk in place, my heart rate was at 91 beats per minute. So I forget exactly where I started off, but I would just do the progressions. Let me slide over here and put the progressions over here. So when my resting heart rate started here, my jogging heart rate was here. Actually, let me start from the bottom up. So my resting heart rate started right here, and then it increased to here with my jogging in place, and running in place, it went up to this number, and then when I was walking in place, it went down to this number. So as you see, the more physically active that you are being, the higher that your heart rate is going to go. And there is a maximum heart rate that you can have. Your maximum heart rate is going to be 220. minus your age. So you just make that, you will just insert your age. So 220 minus whatever your age is. After you find that calculation, that'll be your maximum heart rate. So the older that you are, the lower your maximum heart rate is going to be. And the younger you are, the higher your maximum heart rate is going to be. All right, so I counted 41. Yeah, it was 41. So I counted 41 that time around. So I take that 41 and I multiply it by 2. And my heart rate this time around is going to be 82. So when I the first time around that I did it, I counted 21. I multiplied that by 4 because I did it for 15 seconds. So at that point, I calculated 84. The second time around, I counted to 41 beats per minute, and that was within 30 seconds. And since I counted for 30 seconds, I multiplied my beats by 2. So 41 beats per minute that I counted within those 30 seconds is going to be 82 beats per minute. So you see how close it was. And as you're working out, you don't have to be exact. If you want to be exact, you can just use an electronic device. But if you don't have access to that, or you like to run without it, or you can always just calculate it manually as you're doing it. And then if you will need a timer in order to calculate that. So if you have a phone, you can just use the timer setting and then adjust it to where you need to. Give yourself a little bit more time so then you can actually find your pulse, and then as it gets to the time, you can just begin to count. Hopefully I was able to help you find your pulse, and you can check at your radial or your wrist or your carotid artery. Remember, the C is the third letter in the alphabet, so you have 3 points that you want to hit. You have your throat, jaw, and your neck to check your carotid pulse. If you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And then you can always leave some comments down below. And then I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Oh. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out one of these videos.